My name is Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. I'm going to give you my favorite Underdog Fantasy entries for UFC 281. If you don't know what Underdog Fantasy is, it's essentially a more or less prop game. You see numbers on the screen, you say more or less, and if you're right, you could 20 times your money. And if you're wrong, it's still okay because if you add the insurance, you can get paid even when you miss. We're up some decent money here. You see we got $178 in there. We started with far less than that last week. We made some very solid money last week, and we're going to continue riding this train. Slow and steady wins the race. WeOwnPicks.com/underdog, promo code WWP. They will instantly match your deposit. If you give them 20, they'll give you 20. You give them 100, they'll give you 100. So take that free money, play some of these lines. Let's go ahead and jump right in. We're just going to go to Pick'ems, and we're going to go right down to MMA. And you see us do this type of thing with other daily fantasy prop games. Play the lines against each other. If you find a better line with Prize Picks than Underdog, then great, do it. I will say Underdog tends to have some of the better lines, and they definitely have more options, things like finishes. If you think Wei Li Zhang wins by finish or doesn't win by finish, you just do higher or lower. And that is fantastic. This is the only daily fantasy prop game that does anything like that. So we see here the Dustin Poirier 49.5 significant strike line. I think that's still a good strike line. I would prefer lower, but I think the higher there still hits. But let's go ahead and scroll down and take a look what we've got going on here, because there are a few of these that I like. If we come down here, Anne Blanchfield, 3 takedowns. That's a tricky one because she could get that, but I do think she's in for a much tougher night than people think. I do like the more on Andre Petroski's takedowns. I think Andre Petroski's going to get at least 2 takedowns in this fight. He is a wrestler. He's fighting a grappler. And while he doesn't probably want to be on the ground that entire fight because it'll be dangerous down there against Wellington Turman, he's still going to go to his instincts, get the takedowns. I see 2 takedowns there. And then if we take a look, none of these other lines on the Pick'em really jump out at me. So let's go ahead and move over to Rivals. Rivals essentially takes both fighters in the fight, and you just say more or less on what you see here. Let's go ahead and stretch this out a little bit. So Izzy and Alex, they're giving Alex 7.5 significant strikes. There's too many things going on in that fight. Let's just leave that alone. I'm not positive what's going to happen there. If you think you know who's going to finish, you can grab, but I would not do that. Carla Esparza, they're giving her 19.5 significant strikes. If you think Carla is getting the takedowns in this fight, you should probably grab that, because every time there's a takedown, she has the opportunity to get those significant strikes, while Wei Li is on her back not doing that. I'm not going to grab that. Who's going to land more significant strikes, Dustin or Michael? They're giving Michael Chandler 6.5. Probably a Dustin play, but let's go ahead and scroll down. I'll give you what I actually love here. I love Brad Riddell at plus 4.5. Brad Riddell's the overall better striker here. I think he's going to land at a higher volume, and he's going to almost do whatever he wants on his feet. I recognize how dangerous Renato Moicano is. Renato Moicano can definitely win this fight by submission, but that doesn't matter here. This is saying who's going to land more significant strikes total, win or lose, and they're giving Brad Riddell 4.5 head start. So I like him here for that for sure. And then Molly McCann, they're giving her 8.5 significant strikes. Listen, Molly McCann very well may get taken down and submitted, taken down and controlled, but we're positive when she's on her feet, she will be slinging leather and trying to win this fight the best she can. Just swinging away, trying to make it happen, landing. She will land most likely more significant strikes total. Specifically, if you're going to give her 8.5 head start, I definitely think she hits that. So we're going to go ahead and lock this in. So again, Andre Petroski, more than 1.5 takedowns. Brad Riddell, more significant strikes with a 4.5 head start. Molly McCann, more significant strikes with an 8.5 head start. I personally we'll just throw $10 at this. I already have this exact same entry that I've placed. I'm doing this one again for the video. If we throw $10 at it, we can win 60 straight up. If we do the insurance, we can win 30. 3 out of 3 is 30. 2 out of 3, you get your money back. We're not going to do it with insurance. I already did this exact entry with insurance. Let's do one without. So if it hits, great. If it misses, I'll still end up with money the way it works. Anyway, let's go ahead, lock this in, 10 to win 60. I'm very confident in that. Guys, WeWantPicks.com/underdog. If you use promo code WWP, they will instantly match your deposit. And if you want these lines early, the minute we place them, before they start moving, become a premium member at WeWantPicks.com. There's a button at the top. Click Become a Member. It's just $10 a month. If you followed last week, you paid for several months. If this line hits, that's $60. That's 5 months, because you got to count the 10 you put in. 5 months net profit of premium membership. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member.